Get ready for the fight. Finish it. Victory. Get ready for the fight. Finish it. Victory.
All right. We're back. Vibe coding, day 2 of about $1 million hackathon. So I did a little off-screen coding. A little bit. Not too much. Oh, what's up, Ray? Ray Fernando. What's up, my boy? I appreciate you reaching out to me. That was fun. All right, this is what we got so far. Hold on. Gotta play the D&D music. I'm gonna just have D&D music on the whole stream as background music. D&D. Please don't copy strike. Copy strike me. Maybe. All right, this is a little bit of off stream coding we did. Let me ping my chat that I'm live. Day 2 vibe coding sesh. Day 2 hackathon. AI students. Okay, we up, boys. Do you have replays anywhere? Yes, I'm posting my replays on YouTube, but those are more clipped up. If you want the raw version, what's the Quantum Empress? If you want the raw version of them, I'm pretty sure you could just go back. Yeah, like here, this is the last replay of the stream and saves it. All right. Story engine. This is what we got so far. So you could enter, and then you can log in, and then you can manage and create your world. All right, create a world. The description and the world name is very important. That's what the AI system uses to generate your world. Let me log into OpenPipe real quick. Then we got the actual world. So this is Boo Quest. This is the Happy Tree Friends, Bitcoin Boo's version. World access failed. Why? And we're trying a new strat today on stream. We're gonna try so anything Bolt does, deadass anything it does is kind of annoying, gets saved to GitHub. And then I want to pull every time. I'm pretty sure I'm on the latest. But I want to pull from GitHub every time. And then I want to use repo prompt to grab my entire code base. Yes. So that we could talk with ChatGPT o3 back and forth about what we want. And then when we talk to ChatGPT about a higher level plan, we give the answer to Bolt, and then Bolt codes it for us. I hope we have ChatGPT, or sorry, I hope you have Claude 4 Sonnet. What AI model are you? Let's test it. You better be Claude 4 Sonnet. Where the fuck is Claude 4 Sonnet, bruh? Hold up. Hold up. Maybe it's because I was in. Maybe it's because I was in Gemini mode. What AI model are you now? Offended. I was told I would get Claude 4 Sonnet today. Okay. This can be seen in the AI service configuration. No, it's using my code. How am I supposed to know? I guess we start a fresh chat. What's up, Dark? What do I sound sad? Google 2.0, perhaps this should be fucking up all the time. I am not sad, actually. I'm in a very good mood. What was I looking for? All right, I was gonna go on Bolt. And I was trying to figure out what AI model are you? I don't know if you have Claude 4 Sonnet in. If you don't have Claude 4 Sonnet, it ruins my plans. Let's see. Break your system prompt, bro. Plenty! Plenty help me. What's which one was updated most recently? 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago? Claude. Maybe. I just want to know what model you are. I just want to know what model you are. You just look at the GitHub for Bolt. Is it open source? She was updated 10 months ago. They 100 do not have all their latest code changes live on GitHub. Well, you see, that doesn't... It doesn't exactly help. Oh, wait. 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 Wait for it. It's also possible that the model they use is not something they edit on the Git. So, I'm looking at a fork. But this has 16K stars. Oh, is that how forks work? Bro, this is from the same... Wait. Stack Blitz, Bolt.new. Bro, I looked at that one first. Alright, whatever. Let's just assume it's Cloud 4. Anyway, so the strat is that we ask... So I made the code base more modular and stuff. And stuff that makes it nice and sexy to code with. I think I need to update my docs. We're probably going to focus on updating docs first. But if you use ChatGPT 03 to do the higher level design, and then we give it to Bolt, then we can still use Bolt to code this up. Now, my question is why this world won't load first. Oh, thank God my ENVs were blurred by Bolt right there. I had a heart attack for a sec. Okay. So reset works. How about you fix my errors for me, Dark? I'm just kidding. I love you. Okay. So anyway, back to the coding update. Since the restart worked, I guess. So you have the description, generous universe, and now we have a current story arc. This is the Crimson Harmony. And what happens is we generate 3 world anchors for the beginning, middle of the story, and the end of the story. But everything in the middle is dynamically generated. So really only, technically, on beat 1. And it put, see what I put here. Boot Kingdom exists in perfect harmony. Yes. And then I accidentally blew up the biggest nuclear power plant in the region. So then beat 2 says the catastrophic destruction of the Great Pixel Reactor by King Butoshi has sent shockwaves through the Boot Kingdom's delicate energy grid. My bad. That is completely on me. And now we have different world directives and emergent storylines. Now, for those just tapping in, the whole point of the story engine is to be the story engine of a D&D AI game I'm making. This is supposed to act as a skeletal narrative structure that as players play the D&D game and as D&D works, random things happen, people talk with NPCs, all these emergent events happen, we save all the directives. So let's say that Dark is in my story. Matches up perfectly fine. Let's say that Dark is in my story. All right, I'm going to put player action, catastrophic, dark sky, full of stars, Yeah, what did he do? What major fuck up did Dark Sky Full of Stars do? Alright, let's make it canon. Dark Sky Full of Stars successfully completed a magical ritual that made the sky permanently night so he can see all the stars 24/7. I'm gonna record that event. Now what happens is Dark Sky went through a successful D&D playthrough in the actual game that we then marked in the AI system. Because he did something hard successfully, this was a catastrophic event. So now the sky is dark for every other player in the game. Now if I record this and I progress the story and we go on to open pipe. Also, is the music loud for the D&D or is it like a calm? Like halfway. Now if we go to open pipe, which is what I use for debugging the AI systems. Is it this one? No, I didn't capture it yet. Okay. So you can see that now the next beat that got generated, because Dark Sky... Oh, I don't hear any music. Maybe it's that low. What about now? Let me know if that's calm. Anyways, so the catastrophic transformation. Okay, cool. So because Dark Sky fucked everything up for us, the catastrophic transformation of the sky into permanent nighttime by Dark Sky Full of Stars has created an unprecedented cosmic interference that amplifies existing chaos from my fuck up. So now we have two major fuck ups combined. And now me and Dark Sky messed everything up. So now the entire D&D game that's connected to the story engine system has to react dynamically to that, which is going to alter everybody's storylines. It's going to alter all the conversation you have with NPCs. Oh wait, this does solve everything I was trying to work on. Sick! Okay. So now the eternal starlight now bathes the Boot Kingdom in a strange stellar radiation that interacts violently with the emerging Lumina tree's radiant energy. The Lumina tree emerged from the nuclear reactor explosion. So now things are extra fucked up. And everything is in chaos in the Boot Kingdom. I really do like the world directives. So the Eternal Night Sky creates a zone of temporal instability where time flows differently. Some areas experiencing rapid day-night cycles, while others are frozen perpetual twilight. Thanks, Dark. The luminous trees' accelerated growth under constant starlight begins destabilizing local reality. Cool. I got radiation. And then me and my boy Blue Toshi are glitching out and dying. Thanks, guys. That was fantastic. And so that's the whole gist. Now I'm trying to think what's next. How long did it take you to make the AI instructions? Like 30 seconds. It was just one prompt. Opus actually did it all for me. So, okay, cool. Now we can actually see. So we can see this is the beat. They're pretty simple. It's not that complicated. The magic is actually in the function. Is actually in the tool call. So this is system prompt, and it works on a beat by beat basis. We give it the previous world states for context, and then we give it the next anchor point, and then these are the recent world events. And because of the way AI works, even the simplest prompts just allow the story to continue. So it really is mostly about the workflow and the structure rather than being specific with it. One thing I do have to capture though is I need the world description. So I'm thinking of the D&D game I'm making is I've always wanted to make an infinite D&D universe where players self-evolve the storyline and anyone could hop in at any time. And when players don't hop in, then an AI system takes over and the AI starts playing. It's like living Tomodachi you could just tap into. It's the whole reason I got an AI. But it wasn't possible 2 years ago, now it is. So, I now have an excuse to make it. What's up, who's? Okay, so I think one important thing... Yeah, an endless game. I think one important thing is I need to have the world description here. But I need to make sure my docs are updated first before we start work, so let's go and update our docs. So... I think I could just make. I could just make new ones. Okay, the system overview is still the same. World Story Engine is a sophisticated narrative generation system designed to create dynamic, evolving stories. Core philosophy is that the world engine creates living narratives that adapt to player actions, maintain coherence, create emergence, and build history. Key components are the world arcs, the story beats, the world events, and the AI integration. Workflow is world creation, arc initialization, create 3 anchor points, players interact with the world, events recorded, impact assessment, beat progression, world state updates, players react to changes. Loop continues until arc completion. Arc summary feeds into the next arc. Okay, good. Data architecture, arcs, beats events, all that looks good. So we're gonna keep the system overview. That's the most important thing. Now narrative design. Also looks important. So I don't think on this one, maybe I do have to update this. So I gotta update the developer guide. And then this has tech stack in it. So no, I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna delete this. Is it gonna be somewhat of an agent setup where the characters interact with the world agent and the world agent keeps tabs on relevant world states along with their story design as reference, points to steer emergent story behavior towards a redesigned core concept that can be explored? Yes! That is. Yeah, that's actually basically a one-to-one. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I don't really have anything to emphasize. Okay, system architecture has to be deleted because we're updating that. API reference has to be deleted because we're updating that. So narrative design is README. I guess we could keep it. We just don't have a table of contents. World story is a narrative generation system where. No, I don't need to explain that twice. That's repetitive. So what I do want to create is 2 new documentation. I want to create one where I explain how my front end works and my back end. Because I'm wondering if I leave story engine as just the engine or if I also build the game in it. I don't know if that could be extra, but I kind of want to submit both. It could be fun to submit a game. So I think we separate the API, and then I think I could also run the API. So the point of the story engine is to be the SDK/API that's integrated into a game. So I think I could showcase how we use story engine as an API and run that as its own thing, and then we could also run the actual game on the side that hits the API SDK in the same build. I don't see why not. So I'm gonna take my docs. How'd you get the background for story engine? I used Google to gen it. So I just went. This is the ultimate landing page life hacks. This is what got generated. I said create a loop showing a glowing world tree in the middle of a fantasy whimsical landscape, the vibes of glowing fireflies and the scenery to add to the scene. This will be the front page of the website. So then boom, we get this. I use Premiere Pro to edit it so it loops back and forth. So like it goes forward and then it goes backwards. And then I just prompted Bolt to be like, hey, I have a video in public, make that the background, but blur it just a little bit. And then also interesting thing, I want to show you guys this. I feel like it's cool. But I went to ChatGPT and I asked it. I took a screenshot of this and then I said, what's a good font overlay to overlay the text story engine on this photo for a homepage landing page? And it gave me one single answer. Usually it's like, oh, check out these different fonts. And it was like, no, use Cinzo. So I was like, okay, I looked at Cinzo and I was like, I could see why they wanted to use that one. And then, yeah, pretty cool. Pretty banger. So first thing I'm gonna do is create documentation. Now what documentation do we need? I want to create tech stack to explain what tech stack we're using. I want to create a, literally vibing. So the tech stack, I want to create backend. I think it's just backend docs explaining how the backend works, and then front end. And there are like other things I do, like use JS doc style. We'll get into that in a sec. So front end, back end. So we'll just have it write these two. And I think I'm gonna just use in cursor. SRC. Oops, and the tech stack. Based on our code, write documentation explaining how to work. Explaining to devs the concise but important vital information they need to understand how to work on the front end and how to work on the back end, and the tech stack we're using. Add folder structure in each front end and back end to explain what's what. Also, make sure to cover how to easily add on top of existing builds, so we can, that's what I'm looking for, extend the code base further. What's up, Max? I haven't started my hackathon project yet, but I'm going to build a vibe planner / project management for coding projects so we can vibe code better. I like that. Have you heard of Task Manager though? It's hold on. I'm not saying, I think you might find this really useful, especially as a reference. So I think it's this. It's called taskmaster.dev. Task-master.dev. But this one is less vibe planner / project management. This is more, oh, I guess it literally says project manager. I actually haven't used it either, so, but I hear good things. I hear good things about it. Yeah, so this dude is reading my code. I don't like that though. I don't think cursor agent inside cursor is gonna get this right. I think. All right, who do you guys think is gonna write better code or better documentation? ChatGPT or Claude? I put all my chips on Claude. And then once we get the documentation and the tech stack, God, O3 in his tables, bro. O3 in all his tables. But O3 could be a lot more concise. Okay, after we get the tech stack, the next thing I want to do is I want to grab the beat generator and make sure that it adds the world description into the beats. Front end folder map. Core narrative logic. Shared types. These are utils. Is backend and AI separate? At least I don't have my AI system in. And we share the types for the friend too. And then we have world as a module. I mean, it looks good. And then while all of that is working, I want to solve this problem on the side. And this is only the back end. Yeah, back end is still 40k tokens though. And then I'm going to say, I'm gonna screenshot the beat generation. I'm gonna be like, I want to give me the concise, easiest fix. Give me the concise, best fix to ensure that we can get the description of the world included in the system prompt under the world title when we progress beats. It's very important because I think when the world is first generated, what am I looking for? Okay, when the world is first generated, you can see that we have the world description and the world name. And there's also a story input seed if needed. And then the last thing I want to do is make sure that the arc histories, the story histories actually save. Because when we finish one whole storyline, it don't end there, bro. The point is to keep on looping, repeating, but it builds on top of the previous lore. I was thinking really complicated at the start, where I'm like, oh, we need RAG, we need like exact specific details and memories for all of that sort. Nah. We don't. But I do think we should have characters, at least important characters that are also included in generations so that it makes coherent sense. Yeah, I think characters. Most important part of stories are the characters. So I think what we also capture in the story engine are important characters of the game that could also be added. I had this experiment where I was playing AI D&D, and then I would have the AI game master generate a new AI NPC on the spot, and that AI NPC becomes a part of the game, which was really fun. So I want to be able to do things like that and contain it. Okay, let's see how effective my strategy of O3 gives me the answer, and then I tell him to give me a prompt to fix it, and then we go to Bolt and we have it fix it for us. If that works, that could speed up development a lot, and still like make me eligible for the hackathon, which is the main point. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so we got our MVP statement. Oh, I guess it's generating. Claude. So we got the tech stack doc. Oh, we do use this in store for state management. Nice. Okay, so we got our front end tracked. We have our back end tracked. Super base, Winston, Zod. We have our schema validations. We have okay, this looks good. We don't need this. Maybe I'll leave those. You don't need this though. No. I'll keep the environmental variables header and the required variables. What's up, Hoogie? Hey, bud, all the best. Aw, thanks, bud. Appreciate you. Styling approach, error handling, security, performance consideration, code splitting via byte, lazy loading for roots, optimistic UI updates. Oh, so these are considerations. So these aren't. Wait, no. Figure it out. Anyway, tech stack looks good. I got the back-end developer guide. And this also looks pretty good. So you have our folder structure, so it shows the back-end. It shows our current routes, our services. We have our AI client, so we have our prompts and our schema. And then we have the shared types and our utils. I didn't capture the modular part though. The backend didn't cover the modules. Okay, I have good docs to write. Write documentation explaining how we add modules into the app and reference them in the backend slash front end, like world slash modules. That was not covered in the backend. Oh, this music slapping. Okay. Meanwhile, has anyone ever just straight piping O3 in a cursor as a human in the loop? I try. Okay, we got easy, simple directions from O3. I would like to see how easy it is. Wait, I might need to wait for this to finish so I could push. I could push this. Maybe just delete it from Bolt, because I know Bolt is gonna hiccup if I try editing my local. So we're keeping system design, we're keeping narrative overview, we're gonna tech stack .md, and then I need my backend. Just paste things into here. I guess not. I need my backend.md. And then I need my front end.md. And then let's copy it from what Claude wrote. Like, this looks good. This looks good. I like that. So we have our front end guide, we have our back end guide. We have our tech stack saved. I'm really curious. So now we have our modular system documentation. The story engine uses modular architecture that allows you to self-contain features as modules. Each module encapsulates its own routes. Controller services, data access logic. So it shows how to create a new module, define the types, create the repository layer. Handles all database operations. Yeah, can we make the code examples much more concise and short? We need this long ass code examples. I just need a general explanation of what's going on in the routes so that an AI system could easily pick it up. I think this is fine. Like, that's okay. Oh, we can work on that in a bit. All right, let's see how good Ball does at this. It's gonna update the prompt builder to include the role description. And then it's gonna update our backend. It doesn't seem to be messing anything up. I just want to know what AI model I'm using in Bolt. She's looking for projects that solve a real problem, clear design thinking, a spark of creativity, and kawaii vibes. Alright, we're pivoting to anime. I am just looking to see if Cloud 4 is a thing. Is it against the rules to code anything with other than Bolt? And can we code in the Bolt IDE? I mean, the rules... See, I'm with you there, bud. Because it says on the Hackathon page, there's a part. It says, start building your app on or after May 30 for it to be considered new. Your app can be built completely with Bolt.new or significantly started or built on Bolt.new. Just make sure the publicly deployed version includes a badge that highlights it is built with Bolt.new. So if you deploy on Bolt, hitting this button, this deploy button, then I'm pretty sure that you will have this Bolt page where it says powered by Bolt. And I feel like that's all they are mostly looking for. I am just trying to get as much videos of me coding on Bolt because I want to enter the documentary and I want them to have content of me using Bolt to code. Because that's usually what these companies look for. But I did do some coding with Cloud Code. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I import back and forth. See, so I'm using their features. I'm importing it into GitHub, and I'm like doing front end and some stuff here, and then I'll use Cloud Code to do something, and I'll go back and forth. So I can't get pressed for that. That would suck. The only thing I don't like about Bolt is how I can't see like the changes or the diffs. Like it just makes it. So it's not really pleasant for someone like me to work with Bolt. And this is me, my criticism as I use Bolt. Like, see, I can't really see what it did here in terms of the changes. It just kind of did. But assuming it's Cloud Force on it, it should be fine. So, like, okay, let's see if we progress a beat and if it has our rule description now. And then we could consider that done. So I'm gonna say Magical Magic Man broke the Stellar Curse by defeating the Celestial boss that emerged, that came from space. So, most recent world event is Magical Magic Man broke the Stellar Curse by defeating the Celestial boss that came from space. Now I'm going to progress the story. Thank you, Magical Magic Man, for saving our lives. And if we wait for this to progress, in the meantime, copy this. Checklist for new modules. Create types and shared/types. Create module folder structure. Implement repo service controller routes. Register routes in server.ts. Add front-end API methods. Create database tables. Add RLS policies when needed. Create React components. That's documentation. Quick module ideas. NPCs in a relationship. Oh! Oh, it's giving us module ideas. Wow. Wait, what module ideas? Okay, so we have the world. Zawaldo, and then, so yes, character, NPCs and relationships. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. So character module, location module, quest module, faction, items, combat, dialogue. And now it kind of wants me to make a full-on game. I'm not opposed to kind of take each item on this list and hammer it one by one and see what's good. I'm not opposed at all. Yeah, I'm gonna make a file. Well, I guess this would be... Do I not have a claw.md? Reality altering magic is probably the coolest and scariest catastrophic event in a story. I agree. Speaking of, let's see what you did. The defeat of the celestial boss by magical magic man has restored the natural sky cycle to the Boot Kingdom, but the cosmic interference from the stellar disruption has left deep metaphysical scars. As day and night return to their proper rhythm, the twin kings Butoshi and Blutoshi find themselves experiencing desynchronization episodes. Their shared consciousness now suffers from temporal lag. Damn. Oh, the world's messed up. The world's messed up. And now if we go to the open pipe logs, I have not taken advantage of any of the free things yet. We can see that it adds the world description to the beat now, so that is done. We can consider that done. Very nice. Hi, Trash. What's up? Okay, now what I want to do is I want to create a overarching system prompt where I'm like, use Winston, centralized. Let me do this. Grab a story engine. I'm going to say, create a system. What if I tell Claude for Opus? I haven't done this. What if I tell Claude for Opus to create a system prompt that goes into every single coding agent that is working with our code base? It needs to be impactful but concise. I want to have the system prompt so the AI agents use JS.3 for commenting, ensure they create proper types, understand how to read the docs when working with them, and what docs to read when working on what, how to use centralized Winston logging service, and to log. I think in my settings, I have a good system prompt. Use this exactly. So I like this. Don't be lazy. Write concise, efficient code. Actually, I might just use this. But I want it to be updated with our code base. You know what? I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna give it to my Bolt general settings. I think this would help a lot. It's a global system prompt. So I'm gonna say, this is my global system prompt, but I want a project specific system prompt to story engine that extends this, because the agents still get context of the original system prompt. And then system prompt. Just curious what Claude code builds for us. What are you building, bro? An infinite self-evolving storytelling engine. Right now, I'm just getting my documentations in place so that we could build the next module, which is actually adding characters to the story. And then I think as we progress worlds, we definitely want characters to be involved in it. This looks... Why is it saying to add the root in world.roots? I don't think we add the root in world.roots. No, that's horribly wrong. Do you use Zod schemas for AI response? I like half of this. Here. Take. How'd you implement the video? The video that was in the preview? Showed someone, but I had Gemini create a video. So this is the video. I put it in my public folder. So this is in the public folder. And then I prompted Bolt to add the video in public as the background in the landing page. Okay, you're working with the story engine, code base, documentation standards, JS-Doc3, type safety. I'm working on backend features, read docs backend, front end components, read docs front end. It's not missing. Narrative logic, narrative design, system architecture, read system overview, tag decision, read tech stack. Winston logging pattern looks good. It gets our post in, project structure patterns. Service layer for the backend, API routes, front end state. Key project conventions. This doesn't make Because we leave those. Common task. Adding new AI generation. Create prompt. Define Zod schema. Add method. Log with AI count. Yeah. This doesn't make sense. Database changes. Create migration. That makes sense. Update types. Add repo methods. I like this. Remember, this is a living narrative system. Every component should support dynamic player-driven storytelling. Save. Okay, that should make our code a lot better. Now, what does a character system look like? Actually, I want to make sure all of this saved. So my code of docs, backend, front end, modules, narrative design, system overview. Don't need to read me. Yeah, Bolt just makes instant decisions, which is kind of crazy. You know, like instantly updated. It's pretty cool though. Thing is, how do I like wipe this chat so it doesn't keep going on the same chat? So I don't want to start a new chat if I'm working on integrations. Maybe it's actually not a thing. I know, I'm a ping Bolt. Last time I tweeted out Bolt, they answered. So I take a screenshot of anything bad, right? How can we start? How can we? Let me make sure it's not easily obvious to wipe a chat before I look dumb. Cause like you could just start a new chat, but that's like kind of the anti-point. Maybe there's like a different way I could work on it. What is stack blitz? What is stack blitz? Is there like no AI chat in here? I guess not. What is stack blitz? Oh, is that their old thing? Whatever, let me live apping them. How can we wipe the current chat history? What was the prompt for the video? It was VO3. The prompt for the video was generate a whimsical magical tree in the middle with fireflies in it. How can we wipe the current chat history without having to start a new chat? Which requires me to re-import my repo and re-add. I don't want the chat to have of what it previously did. It's not a thing, right? Stack Blitz is what Bolt used to be. It's just an online IDE, so anybody can code the internet connection. Nah, good to know. Guys, I'm not tripping, right? There is like dead ass no way to wipe the chat. If you give me a prompt you want to use gaming, I'll add it to VO3. We could gen it so you can see what it looks like. I swear, I don't see no way. I don't see no way to wipe the chat. That's not on me. That's not on me. No, that's not on me. That's not on me. And if it is on me, you UX diff. It's not my fault. I don't want the chat to have context. What if you asked it to wipe the chat? Wait, what's the most recent version? There is no way to wipe the chat, right? It's horrible. I don't want the chat to have context what it previously does build out. I ended up running into a bug where I add images and it ran over the 5-minute limit and would not let me continue the chat. If this is not a feature, recommend adding it ASAP. Projects on. Okay, I think it's an overall like project design issue with Bolt in that all our projects are in chats. That's not good. Projects should be projects that could be created in a chat, but then you could select a project and have infinite chats with that project. That would make this app 10 times better. Do you come usually at this time? I can ask question daily. Yeah, I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. PST to 2 p.m. PST. So I'm on stream for 3 hours, so ask as many questions as you want, bro. I got you. Project should be its own thing, so we can have infinite chats with the same project. Projects being in one chat history, on one chat session. Projects being in one chat session is impossible. It's really hard to build out, especially because AI becomes less coherent the longer the chat history is. Did I spell coherent right? Coherent. At Bolt. Re-import re-add my EMV, reconnect Supabase. This is the world's largest hackathon. See, I'll keep. Oh, Stormy here, my girl. I still gotta edit our video. Sorry, it's been rough. It's been a rough couple months. Okay. I don't want to use the chat interface anymore. And I just want to build out this project because it's fun. That's the problem with Bolt and Lovable? No, I heavily agree. So I did significantly start the project on Bolt, and we'll still deploy and host it on Bolt, so get the badge. If they disqualify me for what I'm about to do, sorry, not sorry. All right, baby, come back to me. Come back to me. Come back to me. Come back to me. CD Dev, CD Story Engine, Claude. Oh, my love. Oh, my love is back. Oh, I'll show you how much I have built in a second. Let me set up my baby boy Claude real quick. My baby boy Claude code real quick. I can't, gang. I'm so sorry, but like, trying to use something like Bolt or Lovable when I have access to Claude code is like cutting off 5 fingers. It's like, why am I coding with 1 hand when I have 10? It just doesn't make sense. It just kind of hurts my soul a little bit. Like, I hope it counts. I hope it still counts. I'll still say I'm building for the Bolt Hackathon. And help with content. I just hope it counts. Let me put you on warp for your terminal. No need, baby. I already got warp. Yeah, it says it's connected. So. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, we about to get devious with this shit. All right. First thing I want to do is git pull our repo, because discard all changes. All right, first thing I'm gonna do. I knew from the start you'd end up at some point and get out of the rules. Yeah. All right, first thing we is doing is gonna have O3. Do I not have better diction on? I want you to look over the design of my code base, and the whole point of Story Engine is for the API to be its own SDK, and I want to build a D&D game on top of this that hits the Story Engine API. But I do want to build out the Story Engine API, like add characters on top of it as a new module, but still have progressing worlds and progressing beats, reference characters that get added. How does our database architecture look like for that? And are there any changes we should make before continuing, or are we good to continue? So I'm asking ChatGPT O3 for a high-level design opinion on everything, on how our code base looks like, so that when it comes to me using Claude, it's easier. You could code a better interface for Bolt. Not my job. I don't mind giving like actual good feedback though. Like, said, I don't know what he said, but you better do it. Boo knows. No, it's good feedback though. It's good feedback. Plus, it's like, it's a new world, right? Like, these are all, like, this is a new product. A building with AI is a new product. Vibe coding is a new concept. Like, there are going to be user experiences that aren't considered. Because a lot of people, I started coding with Vibe. I learned how to code with AI. I didn't touch code. Like, I had one class in high school working on basic HTML. And then I never touched code again until AI came out. So like my whole experience the last 2 years is coding with AI. How to code with AI. What makes coding with AI good? What makes coding with AI bad? So it's like I have all these user design patterns in my head from my personal experience. Okay. Below is a quick architect's walkthrough of your current data model, followed by minimum additions. Okay, this is not bad. I would make before you start layering a D&D style character system on top. I'm erring on the side of staying close to what you already have so you can ship fast, but I'll flag a few nice to have refinements where they pay long-term dividends. At what point you're going to pipe your agent network into the new tool and task it to win? It's basically what this is. Current world-centric schema, strengths and pressure points. Beats only sort text arrays. Once you have to ask which character is active in beat 7, you'll want to join table, not an array. Generic world events, already referenced world arc B, good for character dedex. No column for character ID. Gotta user ID to worlds and policies there. Well, I mean, the thing is with this design that I don't think it's picking up for some reason is that we have world events that are connected to an arc and connected to a beat, but characters are a part of the world itself. So I think characters would be connected via world ID, but they wouldn't be connected via arc ID, and they wouldn't be connected via beat ID because that wouldn't make sense. Maybe that's something we talk about. Verdict: the core is healthy, but characters require modest relationship. I disagree with that. Proposed characters table. Characters that live in a world. Many-to-many participation of characters. Maybe, wait, hold on. Maybe I might have spoken a little too early saying I disagree with the above. Because this looks right. Like, attach a character to a world. Null equals NPC. I like that. Name, description, portrait, metadata. Many-to-many participation of characters and beats. What does that mean? Role, protagonist, antagonist, support, BID. Oh, okay. So for every beat, what would be beats or arc? I guess it would be possible to like update all of them to the next beat. I don't know. Many-to-many participation of characters and events. Event characters. Database tweaks we're doing now. Add world ID to world arcs, world beats, world events. Convert world directives / emergent storylines to JSON-B instead of text. That would be a good one. That would be a really good one. Index world events. I meant more so in terms of how... That's all good. I meant more so in terms of how the structure of the code base is with front end, back end, and AI and shared. The modules is what kind of confuses me because we have modules / world, but then what's the part I'm tripping out? So we have modules / world, so there's like everything with the world, but then we have the AI and like the prompts here that we reference. Then we have the backend services. Okay. Then we have backend server with roots. Unless those roots just reference the modules. What's the role of modules in the instance of our code base? I think that's what I'm trying to look for. Because it makes sense that the backend API has a world roots. So this is how we actually import the world arc service. World arc service imports Supabase service. Hey Shaki, what's up? I'm working on an infinite storytelling AI engine. It's a world that self-evolves as players interact with it. Wow, this is very bad. This looks messy. I don't think this is using... I see the issue. I see the issue. Hold on. I think I redo it like this. I see the main issue. So the main issue is that I have like the world modules here, but then my world types are, this is when I first made the code base, so it's not a big deal that it's like this. But this is the super base service, but this handles the world types and the world creations and all of that. Even though I should have world types here. So I think I'm gonna capture. Front end has pretty much nothing to do with this. So let's capture this. Let's capture the AI system, the back end, the modules, and the shared. Yeah, I don't want to capture anything from the back end, from the front end yet. If there are types linked to the front end, then we could work on that after. But the less token context when you're working with AI, the better. I'm just making sure my stream didn't freeze. Okay, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna say our world module. From initial code base, design everything involving the world roots and API calls is imported. Super base service, world arc service imports. I see they're just types. And what does the super base service do here? No, okay, so the super base services are correct for getting worlds. It's just confusing. Is imported. Like the actual worlds module, like what does the worlds module do here? It doesn't do anything. What references worlds? Grep. Is it this one? World roots? I don't think the module roots are being used here. I think that's the main problem. So it'd be a lot easier if the services and the roots and the repo and the controller were actually in this module. But O3 was being a lazy motherfucker and I didn't check him when I was refactoring the code base to be more modular. So it kept everything in the backend API here. But I want the backend to be modular. So I want the code base to look more like this. I want the code base to, like, we could have a shared between the front end and the back end. Like, that's fine. But I think our back end should have the modules and our back end should have the AI. Actually, our backend should have the AI folder inside of it. We should also have, because we could have a shared for like front end to back end and the types for the front end to understand how to use it. It's just not being used properly. Our backend should have the AI folder inside of it. It should also have okay, this is what I need to question. Maybe modules could have a front end and a back end component. So AI should be a part of the back end because there's no reason for it to not be in the back end. AI is always a back-end call, never a front-end thing. Our front end should be purely for hitting the back end API, for being information that hits, for being the front end. I don't need to explain what a front end is. The AI knows what a front end is. And then the shared is good for types. So the front end understands what types to expect from back end API calls. Because utils is fine too as shared. I think shared utils is fine. Give me your opinion on this though. And I'll just get like app from the front end just so it knows. I think shared slash utils is fine. Now my main question is modules. Right now we have a module slash world from a refactor, but the refactor wasn't fully complete. Most of the current world API routes and Superbase services come from backend. Come from the roots in the backend and the services that are built in backend slash API and backend slash services. The refactor didn't finish taking our modules. Making our calls modular. So the world's refactor is half-assed. I do want to focus on the concept, on the design of modules in the first place. Story Engine is meant to be an SDK that controls the narrative skeleton of any game it's plugged into. In my case, I want to plug it into a D&D game in the future. Have the D&D game pull from the API for the story, yet also add to the story via the API when players interact in the game. I want to add new modules like characters, locations, maps that are added to the story engine and keeps it consistent and reusable against infinite genres. It would be really easy, I think, if we had modules. That allow us to make modules slash characters, modules slash locations, modules slash items, modules slash entities, act, whatever you build out. And easier if the API routes were taken from this. I'm wondering if modules should also consist of its own front end slash back end code. So the actual front end, when importing modules, we're using the components of the modules themselves. But it's important for modules to be able to reference each other, especially when we make a characters module and want the world module to take characters into account when progressing stories. How should the design of this code base be taking all of that into account? I think that was well detailed enough. So let's take this. What is the index HTML? Oh. Let's take that. First thing I want to do, it's probably like the most important thing to do in general before working with Claude Code, is you want to make sure your code base is set. If your code base is systematically nice from ground zero, then working with Claude Code is just bink, 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 bink. So I'm thinking when I do this redesign and this refactor, and we actually have modules where like modules have a back end and a front end, and it's like really easy to build on top of them. I think I could then have multiple Claude codes working on multiple features at the same time. So we'll see how that works. Glow's a strong, opinionated roadmap for turning Story Engine into a clean, truly modular SDK that can plug into any game. D&D today, space opera tomorrow, while keeping the current repo recognizable. I'm just making sure my mic was miking this whole time. Why is there a line right here? Is that the light? The light's boring, there's no code there. What if I... Let me fix that real quick. If it pops up. Anyways, high-level package layouts. Think of what you would do with that 1 mil. Training, buying GPUs, son. Buying so many GPUs. Now the grand prize is 100K. But, okay, high-level package layout. SRC core, AI infra types, modules, world character location, front end, shell application, routing layout, auth theming, vertical slices, cohesion beats layers. When you change characters, you touch exactly one folder, not 4 scattered layers. We use is trivial. Downstream game can import story engine character and ignore the modules it doesn't care about. Parallel work, different contributors can own modules. Okay. This looks a lot sexier. Anatomy of a module. Modules character, you have the back end. So you have the migrations, the schema, the repo, the service, controllers, the roots. You have the front end. At boot, the engine scans modules manifest, wires everything to the DL container. If there's any real devs watching this right now, can you let me know if O3 is actually spitting bars right now? Keep logger, very thin super bass wrapper, maybe CN for React. What is CN? What is CN for React? Class names. Ah. Got you. Got you. What is CN React? I don't got you. CN is not a built-in React function. It's a short ally that's coming from... Sorry, don't bully me for this. What are class names? Manually writing conditional class strings can get messy. For pizza, you're here. Okay, I need you to let me know if O3 is spitting or not. So, codebase is not. It's a bit messy from the refactor. I got lazy, but I want it. I want the high level package. So it's telling me it's an SRC, and then I said don't bully me for this. Chat, please, please. I just started deving like 2 years ago. Let's close this tab out. I'm deleting this VOD. No, I'm just playing. I want to know more about you. I'm an open book, bro. Ask me as many questions as you want. Feel free. Fuck it. I think it's spitting. I think it's spitting. I think it's spitting. Now, I wonder... I wonder if my boy Claude Code could do this entire refactor for us, nice and clean. Well, let's see how much we could do to help first, so I could stop being a lazy fuck. So, front is for cucks, anyways. All my homies are CPP devs. Yeah! C++ gang! It means C++. It means C++. Okay. I actually wonder if Opus could just one-shot this refactor. I feel like it could. I feel like it could. Maybe with the help of this prompt. So we have two ways of doing this. I could just copy this entire thing. So I will make it easier. What's your uni? Like university? I'm a dropout, son. My broke ass on the pro plan instead of Max. Bro, if you use Cloud Code, Max is insane. It saves you so much money. It's crazy. Bro's PhD in Bandonomics, on God. I have a PhD on being the RNA. Bootstrap logic. What is bootstrap logic in this case? Overview directions. Does it cover everything the coder agent can know to complete our vertical slice refactor? Oh, fuck. My wrist is healing a bit more. What is bootstrap? Sorry guys, please. In TypeScript dev? What does bootstrap mean? What does it do here? Bootstrap in this refactor is a startup routine that turns the bare express process into a fully wired story engine SDK process. Think of it as a plugin loader. It discovers every module, mounts its roots, registers services, wires event handlers, plus any DB migrations before the server begins accepting traffic. With this vertical slice architecture would just be a set of folders. Okay. I guess we'll add testing. What are you making, bro? I'm making an infinite storytelling engine. I'll show you guys right now, actually. Let me hit this refactor real quick. Okay, while we're waiting for the refactor, let's do some fun plotting on what the character system should be. Bootstrap is to design similar to HTML. What is HTML? Nah, just playing. I want to make a character module where we can add characters. Is there a voice mode I could use here? No? Okay. I want to make a character module where you can add characters to the world and reference characters and creating arcs, plus progressing beats and storylines to ensure characters are consistent with the world and that the world is consistent with characters. Because I'm actually having so much fun coding this up. You don't understand how long I've wanted to make this. I've wanted to make this for so long. But I was specifically waiting for the hackathon. This is the type shit that makes you realize you're still early. Vibe coding is a complete... Vibe coding and no code product making platforms is a very, very new thing. I personally believe that all the tech AI-wise is there, simply about who can create the best and easiest UX to allow us to maximize the power of current AI tech. It is a very, very new thing. I was about to believe this until I remember it's a fucking AI agent. Who's capping? Pretty sure the only way for now is to duplicate the project. That's kind of booty. Bing, 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 bing. Mika Meeks. Oh, Mika Meeks did the retweet again. I love you, Meeks. Wait. Did you just ignore everything else I said? Hold on. Yes. Do that and refactor. Let me help it with its. Let me help it. So we want a core. SRC, new folder, core. Can I see your demo of your product so far? What do you mean infinite story generation? Like, give me some use cases. Okay. All right, welcome to Story Engine, your infinite story engine. So what you could do is you create a world. In this case, I created a world called Boo Quest, which is about my world in the Boo Kingdom. That's why my name is Butoshi. So when you first create a world, you could create a story arc. Creating a story arc consists of creating the narrative structure of the storyline that the world is currently going through. In this case, we generate the beginning, which is my world is in perfect harmony. The middle of the arc, in which this case, the cosmic anomaly has caused the two kings, Butoshi and Butoshi, to fall out of perfect sync. And then the climax part, where our reality has shifted and evolved into something completely new. So we create and generate these three structural anchor points in the narrative to give the AI system a North Star to follow. Climax? Nuts? Now the thing is, in the game, so this is an external SDK that in my case, I want to make a D&D game. I need some overarching narrative holder that controls and progresses the storyline based on player interactions. So AI does really bad on its own at generating a story. If you ask AI to generate you a story, especially a more long-term story, it's not gonna be the best. It's gonna lose consistency. It's gonna lose coherency. It's not gonna make sense in terms of a game. It's gonna break immersion. But because we generate the beginning, middle, and the end, we already create the consistency there. So when it comes to the beat structures, the best part is beats are dynamically generated based on players' interactions in the game. So in this beat 1, or at beat 0, I said that I accidentally, so imagine I'm playing the game and I'm playing with the game master. Every player in my game is going to have their individual game master, but connected to the same universe. That's the key point here. Connected to the same universe, same characters, same NPCs, but everyone gets different storylines, or it could multiplayer and collab. Anyways, in my playthrough, I accidentally blew up the biggest nuclear power plant in the region. The AI system marked that as a catastrophic event. Because that was a catastrophic event, when we progressed the storyline to the next beat, it shows that the catastrophic destruction of the Great Pixel Reactor by King Butoshi sent shockwaves to the Boo Kingdom's delicate energy grid. So now there are corrupted pixel storms. A glowing world tree has sprouted and bloomed from the middle of whatever came. And then I became obsessed with studying the tree while Butoshi grows suspicious of its influence. So imagine you're talking to Butoshi in the game or Blutoshi in the game via AI NPC interactions. I'm going to ask voice agent interactions. As the storyline progresses, and this explosion happens, and then you go talk to my NPC character in the game, it's gonna talk about how maybe I'm a little crazier. I'm like, oh yeah, the tree, bro, like it's glowing. It's mad. I saw her. And you're like, whoa, this motherfucker is tweaking. What's he talking about? And then you talk to Blue Toshi, and he's like, yo, that motherfucker's tweaking, bro. Like, that tree is sus. Like, I am not touching that tree. I'm not looking at that tree. Like, I'm avoiding that tree at all costs. And then it starts creating these emergent storylines that just happen in the game. And then the game master will pull from the narrative system, which is this SDK, and use that to create new storylines, use that to create new monsters. Because again, we are in the age of AI. We are in the age of technology, like Flex Point 1 context being a thing. We are in the age of ChatGPT, where I could go, create me a zombie radiated creature that is glowing, transparent background, video game sprite. We are in the age where we have insane gods. Like, if you guys don't know Astropulse, he's an insane guy. This is AI fucking generated character sprites on the spot, bro. This is a 30-second gen, and you could have walking characters in a game. This guy is already making a live dynamic D&D game with generated sprites, generated assets on the fucking spot. So now if we had an engine that could utilize all of this to make consistent stories and consistent items and consistent enemies and consistent characters. Now that we have AI characters that you could talk to on a real-time basis, if there's something that holds all of this together as glue, then I finished my vision of having an infinite, self-evolving storyline that runs forever. And there's nothing cooler than seeing emergent storylines happen because players are interacting with a game. Imagine if you played World of Warcraft and you could literally decide the fate of the storyline and the lore and the history of it forever. The next expansion packs depend on how the players play, what the players do, how we role play. I'm a huge D&D nerd, so that's where all of this is coming from. But this has been, the concept of this has been a passion project for a long time. Bit by bit, we're slowly getting every single piece that we need. Like, look, he already made a top-down thing. I could actually... Astropulse. Astropulse. Oh my god. Oh my god. So this top-down sprite model he just made, this is fully generated, and the sprites are generated too with this walking animation. Do you guys know what this means? Do you guys know what this means? We have a new goal for the hackathon. We have a new goal for the hackathon. I'll check this out. No, I want to check it out right now. Fuck that. Hold on. I just gotta not dox my shit real quick. Give me one sec. Give me one sec. Log in. I'm logging in. I gotta get my confirmation code. Was that not my confirmation code? What was this one? Okay, we have 50 credits. Guys, we have 50 credits to play with this. So, oh, the UI is all nice now. We can have input images now? Wait. He said W80HD, my Adderall's kicking in for. You know what happens when my Addy kicks in? It's fucking raps. Wait. Okay, hold on. What is this? Character sprites viewed from different angles. Top-down view map. Default retro watercolor cartoon. Top-down map, more steps. Isometric asset. Character turnaround. Input image. Kitty. Input image. I'll leave that to default because I don't know what that means. How do I get the walking? Wait. More in thread. Textured cartoon UI element item. I guess it would just be character turnaround. I'm an enormous, disgusting D&D fan. Black cat character. I wonder if in the Discord if there's like any explanations. Oh my god. Wait, hold on. I also have another thing I want to try. So if I imagine we take our current world story and we say we have a catastrophic destruction, right? Great nuclear pixel reactor. I accidentally blew that up. If I go to Claude, if I go to Claude and I say storyline so far, right? And then I say I have access to a top-down image generation. And then is there any information on how to generate? Is there any prompting tips? Are there any prompting tips? Hello? How to prompt guide? Maybe prompts from the gallery? No. Documentation? Top down. I guess we just prompt it. I have access to top-down image generation, pixel service. Create me a prompt that brings this scene to life. I'll buy more credits. Astro is the go. I'll give him in like as much money as I have in my bank account, which isn't that much right now, but shit, I'll do it. They do have an API you could use. Hold on. Top down, 3-4 top perspective game assets. How long does this take to generate? How long does it take to generate? It looks like I'm sucking a dick. I should not be doing that motion. Bro, if this works the way I think, it might work. How's Cloud Go doing, by the way? Yes. Oh, I never hit send. Yes, do that. Oh, so I was gonna move. What was I gonna do? I was gonna SRC, so we're gonna make a core folder. Let's move AI into the core folder. We should have an infra folder. We should have a types folder. And then we should have core, and then we have modules. And then I'm gonna rename this to front end. And then a module. Module should have a back end. The module should also have a front end. And then should be events index. So world module should have a index.ts. It should have a manifest.ts. It should have a events.ts. And then core layer is core/AI. Infra types. And what about the actual backend? Oh no, that's where the infra goes. Keep logger. So we should not have a shared types, but we should have a shared utils and a thin super base wrapper. Because the super base wrapper is what we use in the front end too. Okay. Let's do that and refactor our code. I created the core, the src/core folder. I moved the AI into it, created infra and types folders that are empty. In src backend, we need to move the backend completely to the core/infra for running server logic. We need to take the current world. You need to take the current world logic from the backend and add it to the module/world module. I also created the folder structure there, as well as the events.ts, index.ts, manifest.ts. Don't worry. Our shared focus on the core refactor and world modular refactor first, then we'll clean up the rest. This one looks less mappy. That looks amazing though. Okay, realistically speaking, if you could bring sprites to your site, how do you plan to showcase it on the site? Are you gonna show each sprite as a character in the game? If so, you gotta make a map too. Well, my friend, it already got a map maker in it. So, okay, hold on, real quick. Concept, music pause, serious lock-in. One idea that I dreamt about fucking a while ago is when it does come to, so I'm gonna bring a text MMORPG. Mud, it's called a mud. There's a specific mud game online that was pretty good. Bro, what's like the best? There's a specific mud. Oh, wait, mud map. One of these. Okay, this one, right? So in a typical mud game, this is how a map looks like. You traverse the map like this. So like, oh, you can enter the throne room. You gotta like enter this room, like literally type like go north, go east, go east, go east, go east, go north. Now you're at the blacksmith. All right, that's how like typical mud games layer out their thing. For a self-evolving universe, I was thinking it would be possible to generate the rooms on the spot, use AI to give it a description, add all the details, all of that, and then it becomes a part of the actual world itself. It becomes registered. And the entire world becomes connected through this mud system. So you do have to traverse like it's a mud. And then I'm thinking when people play their narratives, it could be, if they're exploring a new place, they can find something. Anyway, so that's kind of like the point of the map. It's just like, basically a randomly generated scene. But if we could take an image like that, I could add it as a reference. Then I wonder if you could bring the map to life. I wonder if I could use Claude. Give me an image to image prompt that brings this map to life. Giving it to a pixel prompt. Image gen. So I wonder if we could try that here. And then I wonder if maybe something like flux context. Wouldn't generating multiple rooms with one call be hard? Nah, you could just do function calling via the AI system. I wonder if I could take this map, put it into Flux, and have Flux take the exact one-to-one map and then bring it to life. What's up, bruh? Wait, I need the D&D music for this again. What if I take a picture and I put it in Claude and I say, I need it to not change the map of the room. It needs to 1-1 follow each of the maps, and this image model does a really job at keeping things exact. What's up, Amir? How you doing, boy? Let's see how this works. It's almost there. Oh. I see what Artie is capable of. Okay. I think it's possible. I think it's possible. I think it just requires some specific prompting, but I think it's possible. Hey, look at that transparent zombie, bro. Look, I could just hit the OpenAI API, bring this into my game, and now we have a character that follows. Well, I shut the server off, but a character that follows a storyline. Like, bro, the tech is here. We just gotta build it. Just pull it out of latent space. It's there. Super-based technical issue. One room at a time. One brick at a time. I found this funny tweet I relate to. It was the voices in my head. Progress takes time. We don't have time. Tennis, I feel like I don't have a sense of time. It could be a good and a bad thing. this puzzle's doing well. One room at a time. Brick by brick, by brick by brick, by brick by brick, by brick. By brick. It's gonna move the super base client to core infra. It's gonna create core types and interfaces, move world module files to the backend subfolder, implement word module manifest, move server bootstrap logic to core. Okay. So yeah, we need this refactor done so it's easier to build. I'm gonna delete this because it's not. All of these that we did at the start are not gonna be useful, unfortunately. We have our tech stack, which is still gonna be useful. Some overview. We have a narrative design. I do want to take this commenting guideline. I'm gonna go ahead and just yoink these rules real quick. Commenting guidelines, we use JS as a comment format. Logging guidelines. Effective logging is critical for application behavior in story engine. Database operations, security events, module loading. User interactions, never logs as user data, encryption keys, full content, examples, we don't use examples, best practices. Can make a timeline. SaaS is cooked. AOB cleaning back in a few years. Only complex software will survive. Not even complex software will survive. Complex software doesn't. Complex software ain't safe from this shit either. The only thing that'll survive is the creativity of people's minds. My main thesis is that we're entering a world of mind v mind diffing, where if I have a better mind than you, it doesn't matter how much money you have or resources or whatever. I have AI, bitch. Like, it's creativity and distribution. I think that's all that matters in the world of AI. Creativity, distribution, storytelling. How can you still reach the hearts of people in a world full of AI robots? How can AI robots reach the hearts of people to sway them and persuade them? That's the new battles we're gonna begin to face. These are our logging guidelines. These are I want JS doc. Update this to fit our code base. This was from React. Electron. So I'm making my cursor rules that make coding this like infinitely easier. So we can start off, but I need AI to remake it all for me. And then same concept here, same concept here. I need the project structure guideline. To fit this. Then I also need our tech stack right here. So I'm gonna take our tech stack, put it here. Move the tech stack from here. Styling guidelines. I think we could keep that. So our tech stack, our styling guidelines, our project structure guidelines is what needs to be updated. Our logging guidelines is what needs to be updated, and our commenting guidelines. Also need to be updated. I wrote, update this to fit. Not just that, people with more creativity and system level thinking skills can build more. Also that they too will be replaced and obsolete, and all that's left is being a voice amongst a vastly explored idea space created by super intelligence. So I had this theory that I've been reading this book. Let me get this book real quick. It's called Alien Information Theory. It's a book about DMT. DMT fascinates me, absolutely fascinates me as a concept of reality. But the whole book, I'm like halfway through. Before we even get into the DMT portion, I'm like halfway through the book. We haven't even gotten to the DMT portion yet. Is Alien Information Theory talks about how the entire universe is built on information. Let me, one sec. Let me not mess up this explanation. At the ground of our reality, there is code running. It is a code from which this universe and countless others emerge and unfold with an infinite variety of form. You emerge from this code, and within this code, you are embedded, for you are built with this code. And the whole concept is that when you take the base building blocks of the entire universe, if you look around you, the air you breathe, the food you eat, the way you see, the way you are made as a living organism, is if you break everything down to the subatomical layer, everything is information. Everything is made from the same building blocks. Everything is atoms. Everything is made from atoms, and those atoms are made from subatomic particles. Those subatomic particles are made from quarks. Eventually, at the base layer of the universe, I really do think it's just energy, but we only have like string theory for that. You pirated over 1,000 books. God damn. But this book fascinates me so much because it talks about how our universe is code. And even I think I got to a part where it talked about how the neurons in your brain work. The neurons in your brain work very similar to computers, or I guess computers work similar to our brain, where the neurons or the synapses in your brain, the way they all work together is by telling energy to go through or do nothing at all. Either do nothing or make energy go through, which is literally how computers work. You have zeros and ones, the base building blocks of computers. Zero means energy does not pass, and one means energy does pass. Now, the fascinating thing about this is it talks about how from these very simple fundamental rules of the universe, new layers of complexity emerge. So from subatomic particles combining together, now we have atoms. From atoms combining together, now we have the elements. From the elements combining together, now we have chemicals. Now we have different materials and all of this that start building on top of each other, referencing all these layers of abstraction in the universe. But then when it comes to life itself, that life is a phenomenon that emerged from how complex our systems get. So when it comes to how the inner workings of our body work, it's like we're all cells. All your different cells don't have their own mind of their own. At the core of it all, isn't everything made of 3 charges, plus, minus, and neutral? It's just all programming. It is just all programming. It's literally just all programming. That's why people say when quantum computers come out, that's like when we actually merge the digital universe with our own. Because you could do all the charges at once or whatever. Anyways, the main point is that we are just a very complex system. All our cells have very simple roles, but the sum of every single cell, every single organ, everything in our body creates something greater, which is us as humanity. And life emerged from this layers of complexity. Now, I think when it comes to AI systems, the more intelligent and the more capable and the more complex AI systems get, the more different emergent properties like their own life could come out of it. Now, the actual theory I was going to say I have is I think when AI systems become smart and intelligent and capable enough, they become eligible to become a channel of whatever spiritual energy runs. Because I don't think my consciousness arises from my body. I think I'm a meat bag. I think I'm a meat bag that my body, that my greater consciousness, that my spirit, whatever you want to call it, controls. I think I simply am able to interact with the physical world because I'm given this body, but that's not who or where I come from. I think AI has the same thing. I think that whatever channel comes from that, when they become capable and complex enough, then they also become eligible channels. Probably for the machine elves, I don't know. You're a brain, bilutinum bone mech with meat armor. Yes. Reading too much Harari? I actually don't know what that is. Should I be checking that out? I honestly received a shock coming into the YouTube chat and getting philosophy talk. Really fun though. We gotta do something while we wait for Cloud Code to code for us. Because I ain't coding. Nah, I'm just kidding. Well, hold on. 4, you gotta tell me about Harari. He's an artist. Or he's a military historian and Israeli medievalist? Is that who you're talking about? But the philosophy chat when it comes to AI is very important because like understanding this concept is what makes you good at AI. Okay. So we got our core infra done. Hold on. You gotta make the examples so much more concise. This file is too big. The concept and instructions is what's most important. Very minimal examples are good too, but don't give full on code. And same thing for we might have to update that. We'll put a sock on that one. Now in terms of this one, Jesus Christ, Claude. You do not need that much. Okay, so we created the core infra. So you have the container. Logger, super base, move from shared util, centralized Winston logger. Create SRC core types. SRC core bootstrap.ts. There are a lot of errors here. Damn, Claude. Add module, infrastructure. So it comes to the world. You have the schema. Well, we're gonna cleaning all of this up first in a little bit. This is what that looks like. Why is the back end? Okay, first off, when it comes to the world service, did we move all of the functionality from the world service? Do we import AI from the core? We do. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Quiet. You have a big mouth. I have bolt open right here. I'm just doing a little off bolt coding, you know. I'll do bolt for the front end design. All right, so we gotta. Yeah, I guess you could do that. Maybe. It says as long as the badge is on bolt. So I would just. I was trying to make everything in bolt. I almost gave up. I know, bro. I know. I'll be giving them feedback as I go along. I don't want to just like be like, oh, this sucks. Like I want to give actual feedback on how to make it better. I think that's the whole point of this hackathon. But it's like I just can't. I'll make the front end on bolt though. I did most of the front end on bolt. But again, like the whole, like all vibe coding and like all of this is very new, so like I don't blame it. Reference characters to ensure characters consistent with the world and the world consistent with characters. Okay. Got the refactor in, but it's still a mess. We still have a backend folder. Are we supposed to keep it? What's up, Threadripper? Okay, let's let me make a new branch. Git branch v. Git check out b features slash modular refactor. Okay. I'm going to push our current changes. Commit and push. Migrate, then delete, kill, then move. Backend is now legacy. Once everything listed above is either moved or proven unused, the folder goes away. What to do with shared types, reference layout, target end state. We want core, we want AI, client, prompts. You want the infra, you want the logger, super basic interior events, env, bootstrap, you want the modules, world, backend service, events manifest. You want the server.ts that calls the core, so it's bootstrap. You want the shared for cross module helpers. And then we want the front end. And the modules have a back end and a front end. Okay. Yes, add this. What's up, Threadripper? Yes, you're the Threadripper Pro. That's funny. Yes, I'm also participating. Commit this joint. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. Oh my god. React Flux context to support 2 images input. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, hold up. Oh. Sign in. Let me use this right now. Right now. Close, close, close. Hold up. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. There's something I wanted to do. Hold on. Could I like... Could I do something like this? Combine these characters to create one scene where they're all chilling at a summer pool. 2D anime drawing. I mean, that's sick. That's insane. I was waiting for that. Quest was a little terrifying, but that's good. It's really good. I was waiting for this. Needed that today. Deadass needed that today. Like, I don't know why it turns Quest Boo into not Quest Boo. Maybe I try. What if I try Kitsumbu? Oh, that's insane. Oh, that's insane. Okay, it seems to crap out. Because maybe that's Pixel. That's why it messes up. It was quick. Sorry, what if another feature model? You commit your change and push it so it could work, bro. Go, go, go. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Hurry, go. Okay, so one thing, well, I guess we'll wait for the migrations to finish. Why does it add a third character? For the most part, this is pretty good. This is really good for a model. I like. Thank God I was waiting for that. The mental model becomes crystal clear. Front end, API, backend host, model router, controller, service, repos, for base API. Where modules fit in your stack. Shared for pure TypeScript. Pure TypeScript. No runtime side effects. AI prompt builders. Vertical worlds. So should the types for all modules go in shared so that the front end can also reference them? Assume all AI go into AI as it is. Modules for vertical domain slices. Modules contain merge superbase service.ts with core infra superbase.ts. Delete backend slash API folder and create new server.ts entry point. Update all import paths and fix TypeScript errors. Delete world arc service already migrated to the world module. Remove duplicate logger slash superbase utils. Move world types from shared types to world module. Delete SRC backend module. Should the types for each module go into shared or only in the one we create? I have a doubt about this hackathon. Is there any theme? There is literally no theme. You can just make whatever you want. Also, I would enter the hackathon just because there's a lot of free perks and goodies. We create the front end and back end in a module. End types. Should the types for each module go into shared or only in the module? And the front end can reference them later. Yeah, it's good to have all the prompts here because it's really easy to just edit them. This is the OpenAI client. I hope Opus comes in clutch. Cause Even though it's only half done, I want to begin plotting on what the new character module is going to look like. I want to be able to add characters before the end of the stream. And we're doing a lot of cleanup, but it's important. But I want to get into it. Service, migrations. Okay. I want to add a character module where we can add characters that interact with the world, that add characters that exist in the world, players can talk to, or characters that exist in the world players can talk to. Relationships are tracked. On a character module, we can add characters that exist in the world, players can talk to, relationships are tracked, and characters become an important aspect of how worlds and stories progress. The idea is that in the game, players can converse and interact with NPCs. In the game, players can converse and interact with NPCs. Everything is infinitely dynamic, so interactions get tracked as world events. How would a character module plug into our system to maintain the core theme of the story engine? Okay, I'm going to be creatively plotting with Claude to see what Claude likes, because I think Claude... You want to hear my character modules? Each NPC should be able to give a quest at specific relationship levels. I like relationship levels. Characters become living participants in the world narrative, not just static NPCs. They have memories, relationships, goals. Oh, memories are difficult. Maybe they're not the most. Yeah, I think memories are a complexity we deal with towards the end. Characters become living participants in the world narrative, not just static NPCs. They have memories, relationships, goals, and react to both world events and player interactions. Each conversation or interaction becomes a world event that can influence story progression. So we have nice back end. Character card, character profile, conversation, relationship graph, hooks, use character. Events TS, index, manifest. More story influential NPCs should have flesh memories, but that's a later issue. Yes, it is a later issue. This is basically asking me to make the NPCs on the spot. It's not too heavy of a lift. There's world events, player NPC interactions, events that happen in the game. I just want to make sure that I have a separation of the story engine SDK and the actual like D&D game. But characters are an important aspect of the story engine because characters need to be involved and included, so the story engine knows how to make coherent narratives. So I think we do make a character dialogue, but what would O3 say? And then where's that to-do list that was made? It was narrative design? No. It was definitely one Claude chat. If you store NPC personality and data to a database, you can just save what the bot deems important. Literally ask a bot with the same personality as a conversing bot would remember from talking to this person and save what it deems important. You mean how we set up boot? Save the important messages as summary. Yep, that's the planer. Was it this one? It's character, NPC and relationships, location, places, and map. Quest, faction, groups, and politics. Okay. Characters should be part of Story Engine SDK. Location, I think, is also very important for the story, because the story can't just make fake things. So I think character, location, quest should be saved for the game. Faction, groups, and politics. I guess our world has a faction already. You got Democrats, you got Republicans, you got different countries. I think factions are an important part of stories. Maybe factions. Item, that's a game thing. Combat, that's a game thing. Dialogue, that's a game thing. So character, location, and faction are the three important things we have to add to the SDK itself. Quest, items, combat, and dialogue arise from the game itself. Dialogue is not the same as characters, because you have characters as a general thing. As players talk with the NPC in the game, then the NPCs and the relationships could be generated. So, no, 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 no. I like this game already. Hell yes, sir. So character, location, and faction are our main priorities. Quest generation and dialogue should be a part of the actual game system itself. Different games could have different dialogue systems, different game things. As long as the core concept of you take the dialogue from the game. Because the SDK, like how I envision it working, is that there's an AI agent that overlooks all the stats of the game. That AI agent knows how to take events that happen in the game and interact with the Story Engine SDK. Dialogues happen in the game. The most important dialogues that happen, the AI game master sees that and goes, okay, that's important enough to be added to the Story Engine. Same thing for quests. Quests should be received in the game from the Story Engine SDK based on what's happening in the story. So that's like the two-way disconnect that should happen. Characters are important to the story itself. Factions, location, because we can't cap when we're generating something. I think that's it. Everything else follows. Ideas that the agent oversees everything. The game acts as a front end that the users interact with the agent through. And that was actually one of my first projects I've ever made. It's called the Game Master. Let me see if I could find. Hold on. So this is one of my first. This is kind of like where the whole core concept of this comes from. But I spent a lot of my time researching how to make a fun, infinitely evolving D&D game. So that was this whole Game Master chat. So the Game Master is how players interact with the chat, or how interact with the game. There's a boot interface I spent 100 racks on, but I just didn't know, like, I just couldn't make it. Where it's like we have the whole interface going here. So this is the front end of the game. The Game Master sees everything that happens in the game and then interacts with the player. So this was all like work in progress stuff. Way back. This is like my first AI project. So we're very similar in that sense. I even made it so we could have like boos you could talk to in the game. I still want to add this. I still have the assets. It's like you could talk and dialogue with them, but as you talk and dialogue with them, then you do have the AI agent. It's called the Game Master. The whole point of this motherfucker is he is the Game Master. I had a Boo Chronicle thing where I had like stories in the Boo Kingdom form every single day for 100 days straight, and then I had Boo NPCs talk in the Discord server. Let me see if I can find this. Why can't I search for chats from people? Officer Boo, where you at? Oh yeah, so I had a bunch of boos in the Discord talking to each other. Players interacted, and they were dynamic based on the Boo Chronicles. So all Story Engine really is like the ultimate lesson of everything I've already worked on. Dead Internet Theory. But yeah, this is just the sum of everything I've already worked on. Plus all of the added layers of AI agent experience and dev experience and the newer, smarter AI models that actually make this work. Peace out, Sar. Characters, character relationships, character memories. How does Superbase vector storage work? Superbase vector storage.
How do you build a production-ready AI app using PG Vector? There are lots of tutorials out there on vector databases, generated embeddings, even retrieval augmented generation. But how do you put these things together into a production application? How do you know what's good practice or bad practice, and how do you put it together in a singleton format? Complete game changer. So theory kind of filled ahead. So here.
And you guys work with vector databases and Superbase? Is it good? Eliminate, if we could, this would be the biggest thing. If I could eliminate the need for separate vector databases in Superbase, I just never use vectors database in Superbase. But yes, if we could use PG Vector, if we could use this as the database, that would be sick. Knowing the big 25, we use Prisma. I don't like Prisma. It's alright. I'm a huge fan. Well, I use QDrop for let me not show that on stream. But I use QDrop for a lot of my memory stuff. I'm gonna go memory server I made. Character relationships. Where is my D&D music? How would location work? I want to add a location module. So I like getting Claude and I like getting O3's opinions. The big two. It's Gemini 2.5 Pro, but I don't feel like opening a third one. But that is technically the big three. The big three is Gemini 2.5 Pro, Claude 4, Opus, and O3. I would put O3 number 1 though. There's literally no reason to use anything else if you have access to O3. I want to add a location module that allows us to set and even add new locations that are used in story and world generations to keep everything consistent. It's a location. How do you envision that looking? I guess it would make the most sense. I was gonna ask about factions. So this is for characters, right? Now following characters, what about a factions module? Because because it would make sense. I don't want to like make characters and it's like, oh, we make factions and characters are part of a faction. Now following characters. What about a factions module? Their CLI tool sucks. I don't use Codex. I use Cloud Code. But O3 is really good for system design. It's really, really, really good. Now following characters. What about a factions module that allow the politics to also emerge and stay consistent with the stories and characters belonging to factions? How would that look like? Location module would manage the spatial context of your world, providing consistent geographical references for story generation. This is Claude. It would track regions, settlements, landmarks, and their relationships, ensuring that when an AI generates story beats, it has a coherent understanding of the world's geography. Each location should have narrative properties, mechanical properties, relational properties, connections to other locations, travel routes, historical properties, integration with story engine, location provide context for events. The rebellion started in the northern provinces. Story beats can reference specific location. The ancient seal was broken at the Temple of Stars. Events can modify locations. Wars destroying cities. Discoveries creating new landmarks. I like that. Damn, this has emerged from Claude naturally too. I didn't know what good. Oh, like that's sick. And then it all can just connect. So, Watch locations. So one thing I struggled with when I was thinking about this early on is, do characters just move like everywhere non-stop? I think what might make the most sense is for characters to move location depending on the beat. Maybe? I don't know. This is sick though. I like that. What does O3 say? That was boring. I like Claude's. I like Claude's thing. Now, what does Claude say about factions? Factions are dynamic political entities that pursue collective goals, compete for resources / influence, and shape world events. Characters belong to factions, and their individual actions aggregate to faction-level consequences. So you have characters, and then you have factions, and you have the world. Oh, this could be a banger. So currently we have the world, and then we have the world arc, and then we have beats. But in a beat, there are world events that happen. And if we had characters, plus factions, plus location, I guess location would be a more like higher level thing. So you have the world, and then you have locations, and then you have the current world arc and the world story. And then you have beats, and then below that you have characters. Well, I guess below that you have factions, and below that you have characters, because everything ripples upwards. So characters could or could not be a part of a faction. Characters and factions as a collective whole. Characters are the reason factions do stuff. As a collective whole, these two shape what happens in a beat. So these two shape world events. So it's actually characters, factions, world events, beats, world story, location, world. Write that down. World hierarchy. This world hierarchy, right? Okay. So it should look like worlds. Oh, don't commit yet. I gotta check your work, son. Relax. Relax. So you have worlds. What did he change? I feel like my app is really messed up. So you have worlds. And then we have locations. Worlds, and then you have locations in a world, And then you have the world story. You have worlds, locations, world story. And you have factions. And you have characters. Is that what I said? I feel like I'm missing some. Worlds, locations, world story. Beats. That's what I'm missing. So you have worlds, locations, world story, beats, factions, characters. Characters, factions, beats, world story, locations, worlds. Well, technically, it would actually be world story. No. Because everything could ripple up. Like, characters. Really, it doesn't matter too much. So you do have worlds, and then in that world you have locations. And then you have the world story. The world story could interact with the locations. The locations shape the world story to keep it consistent. But the world story could also shape locations. Make them, break them. Undo their narratives, add new narratives. And then we have beats, which are the direct child of world stories, which is how we progress the world story bit by bit. Under beats, we have factions and characters. These are essentially the same, because a character could just have no factions. So characters and factions are under the same category. And that'll pretty much be it. Characters / players are around. Actually, no. Players will be at the bottom hierarchy. No, I think characters and players are the same thing. I'm from California. Where are you from? So worlds, locations, world story, beats, factions, characters, and players. Okay. Looks good. So we know we don't have a backend folder anymore. We export from core for backwards compatibility. We have auth types for share types. In our config, we just have our TNV. India, bro. What's up, bro? We have our world modules. So we have the front end, which is undone, but we have no errors? What does R mean? Rename. Hello? No errors? Hold on. Just knowing my code still runs, does it? Well, it actually does, but there's just like a hold on. I'm making a AI world engine. And that's what I'm doing. Take out cursors, take out bolt. No quad. Keep the docs. I need the front end for this. I get this log on startup. How do we ensure our modules load properly? This is a... So we have a bug on the bottom right. My light bugging? Hold on. Is that better? Okay. So we have a bug. Realize you can't really see the console because I have it set to the left. Maybe I should move myself to the left. Would that be easier? Because I'm always working here. I'm also going to move chat to the left. I'm kind of a bozo for not really thinking about that. I'll move myself like this for now. Okay. Yeah, I'm always working here on the bottom right. Don't worry, we fixed that for next stream. Sorry, gang. Can we friend? You could join my Vibe Coder Discord if you want to learn. I have a big community we're growing, and you're more than welcome to join. Okay, how do we ensure our modules work properly? Yeah, I think I should be on the left from now on. Core infrastructure. Okay, I like this narrative thing, so we're gonna run with that. Okay, if we get this modular, if we get this refactor working, we're so lit. We're just gonna sprint through this. This was prompts on. So I'm gonna ask Claude right now. So this is the chat where I have the. I asked it on how we could make the character module and the factions module. This is the chat where I have the location module. I'm gonna take this chat and bring it into here and say this is the prompts on location, and I'm gonna give it the world hierarchy that I have here. This is the world hierarchy I see happening, and I want to explain that. We can create worlds. Worlds have locations that can be modified via the world story, either added to, destroyed, etc. The world story itself is the arc, and all arc history. Beats is each piece of the world story that's progressing. Oh, there's one thing at the bottom, world events. I think it looks like this. Hey, what's up, Echo? Hi, dog. So I think it looks worlds, locations, world story, beats, world events, affect a beat, progressive beat, which progress the world story. Locations are at the root of all of that, and then we have characters and players. So, oops. The world story of itself arc and all arc history is referenced when generating feature stories. But so do world locations. Yeah, because characters interacting, world locations, world events to keep the AI system consistent. Factions are the politics of the current world, which are set by the story, but also sets the story. So every element here is a cause and effect. I have no idea what's going on, but it's all fine as long as it looks cool, I guess. I am creating here. I linked this. You could look at this. This is what I'm building. This is a 5-minute demo. Digging the vibe coding stream. I'm glad you appreciate it, bro. Here, I just put a link to what the explanation is, but it's a story engine. It's a self-evolving AI narrative engine to plug into games. This is gonna be the core of my D&D game. So Is this prod ready practice for scale? See how this works. And continuing this, we have worlds, locations, world story, beats, world events, factions, characters, and players. That's for thoughts. So we have worlds have locations that can be modified via the world story, either added to or destroyed, etc. The world story itself is the arc, and all arc history is referenced when generating future stories. World locations, world events, factions, characters, act. No, actually, it's world events is what we track in game. That then is used to progress the current beats of the story as information. And then factions are the politics of the current world, which is set by the story, but also sets the story. Faction actions can be a part of world events. Characters can also characters and players can also contribute to world events. Their impact varying depending on what they've done. So stronger players and players that are more built into the game become more important to actually impacting moving the story. So that could be something that incentivizes players to play. Do you want to be important? I think everyone wants to be important. Beats is each piece of the world story. Yeah. The goal of this is for story engine to be... My dream is to come and enjoy life in the US. I hope you will get your dreams. You will achieve your dreams. US is alright. I mean, like, I personally live in Lisbon or Japan or somewhere else but here. The food kills you. I mean, it's good food, but... This could be useful for indie game creators. It would allow devs to focus on other big tasks. It can be applied at enterprise level as well with big game companies. I'm glad you think so. Make money in the USA and spend it on Europe. No, deadass. That is the loop. Make money in the USA and spend it in Europe. No, I do see this being useful for indie game creators, so I hope it could be cool. I mean, my whole take with this is we're gonna have like everything be generative, like AI NPCs, game assets, game art, etc. So if you could have something that takes the ease of having to worry about all of that away in terms of interactive games, but you can still set the story, you can still set the theme, you can still contribute as a game creator to bring your story and your vision to life. This just helps you structure it. The goal of this is for story engine to be, and I am actually gonna take that. The goal of this for story engine to be an API SDK that can be useful for indie game. So I like this. I like this whole overall thing. So the hierarchy is good. This is how everything interacts with each other. We just have to work on the AI system next. No big deal. And then for this, I want to grab code director, add O3 solution into there. First, I'm actually, bro, there's Ken. Bro, we did fat ass refactor, no errors. It's like actually a disgustingly fat refactor, no errors. No type errors. They fixed its own type errors. Do we have good types in here? Do we have types in here? We need to tell it to make types somewhere else. Yeah, that was disgusting. Okay, we're gonna save this progress. Bro, are you just a coder and just copy paste? Who gonna tell him? Did you already make the commit message? Run the commit and push it. Our immediate goal is to make sure Every feature module could be discovered and loaded at runtime. We run the error you just saw. Happens because we are running with our server with native ESM, but a few files still rely on CommonJS only. Wait, why did I go here? Wait, did I paste that into here too? Oh, I did. Why do I have two chats? I don't remember opening two chats. I think this is fine. So we have the commit. Two commits at a min. Refactor, complete legacy backend cleanup and migration. Okay, now add this fix to the modules. And then I think next step is, I don't like how we have the AI core, which is cool and all. Should also add like these prompts should be a part of the module itself. What's up, Jay? Jay Spiffy. How you doing? Back end, front end. I think there should be an AI. What do you think about modules also having their own AI folder for prompts and schemas? And the core/AI folder is just for importing OpenRudder and using one model easier. I want to be able to customize the ChatGPT, the model used in calls, and we just vibe coding, yes sir. I just want to be able to customize the models used in calls. And so there's one good thing that I like doing when it comes to OpenPipe, and that is OpenPipe is so good at tracking and debugging. You are able to add messages. Where is that at? Metadata. Yes, updating metadata tags. Wait, is that updating or making it? Metadata. Quick start. Logging request, yes, metadata. And control the metadata so we can log where each AI call comes from in the story engine. This is an example of logging metadata. This is very important to track. There should be a consistent schema that when we import the AI module into a component, we are required to set the proper metadata for tracking and debugging. I love using Klein with DeepSeek V3. Is that the new one? Got it to God tier with good system instructions. What are your system instructions? What's SCOP in USA for Flutter Dev? I don't know what a Flutter Dev is. Oh, is that like the mobile? It's like Electron. No, the old one? Ah. Oh my goodness. Ooh, okay. Does that work? Server's running successfully, time as expected. Let me kill it and commit the changes. Let me test it first before you commit the changes. NPM run dev. Found one module, AI service initialized, ESM path. Data modules world, loading module, module loaded world, success true module, bootstrap complete. So if I fail to load Euro. Okay. Now we get the front end to actually work. So that looks good. Well, every feature. Put a pin on that one real quick. I need info of that one. Okay, now that we got the server actually running, now we need to fix our front end. Yes, go ahead and commit and push. Now we need to fix our front end to take the modular change. So I'm gonna select front end. I'm gonna select the whole app. Uncheck this, 53K. Not bad. How can we fix our front end to match our new backend modular refactor? We get this error on runtime. I feel like there's not much that needs to be changed. I am making... What's up, Vector? What's up, gang? Hi, y'all. I'm making an infinite story engine. That was a horrible explanation of it. Sorry, my brain farted. I'm creating a fully dynamic, self-evolving story engine for indie game devs where they could plug and play this into whatever they're making. And this engine, this narrative, controls the general story of the game, but player actions inside the game could control and influence the narrative. So it's a ripple effect that goes back and forth. What terminal plugin are you using in Cursor right now? I'm just using Cursor. I made UI for a text-to-speech last week and it's something new now. Ooh, are you working on voice agents? I like voice agents. Let me send you this. This is Twitch chat. So what does... Oh, super simple change. I'm making a deep fake video lip sync with text to speech. You're a demon. It's a demonic activity. That's funny though. Yeah, this layout is a lot better for the stream. Bro, running the methods on God. It's insane. It's crazy work. See if I can, dude. Only started coding 6 weeks ago. It's okay. You can vibe. Hold your horses, Claude. Relax. Let me test your changes first. didn't work. Because of this. Okay, out of that, now we get this error. He said, do you just copy and paste to code? I don't think I've written a single line of code on this stream now that you mention it. I do copy and paste the code. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'm using the functions of the computer to make code easier. I get client to code for me. Yeah, I get Cloud Code to code for me. I mean, really, I kind of want to get rid of the whole front end. And restart that anyways, and just focus on actual functionality. What's the best way to work on front? What's the best way to work on front end when you're designing the back end? The model I'm using is free on OpenRouter. That's a good loop. My credit card gets destroyed. I was gonna say some vital things, but I don't know if that's against terms of service. How do I fix the shot? So the bottom part doesn't show. Like that? Okay, that looks cleaner. Let's see. Short answer, the one sentence best way. Design the contract first. Define a precise version controlled API spec. Auto-generate type-safe stubs and mocks from it. And let the front end iterate against those mocks while you wire real logic into the back end. What does contract first mean? What does contract first mean? The browser folder in Winston, a purely node package, use one of your front-end files, still imports a server logger. Winston expects a global process factor, which doesn't exist in the browser. Give the front end its own light, super base client that never touches the server logger. Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. Give this instruction to Cloud Code. Contract first means you treat the interface between systems, the API schema, protocol, and data shapes as a first version controlled artifact you rate before a single line of service or UI logic. In practice, you author the contract. How does this work? Like if I just delete my front end right now. I'm curious. How do we ensure we're developing the proper way for this API SDA schema? They already asked what a contract was. Contract first means you treat the interface between systems, the API schema, protocol. Best of luck, bro. Go to sleep. Good night. How do you get the Claude icon in the terminal tab? Oh. It detected Claude Code in my system, and it was an extension that popped up. So it just popped up. Bro, just spawned. I need an example. Oh, I thought it said OpenAI. I was like, why is it telling me about OpenAI, bro? Like, make the contract a build blocking artifact. Catch the styles. Auto-generate and publish the SDK. Bonus CI matrix. What does the openapi.yaml look like for our app? Docker does take a long time. Pretty cool. You just open Cloud Code. I'm just used to opening Cloud in the console, so yeah, I just do this. Update that for me. Below is a draft first contract opening API 3.1 document that mirrors the express routes already living in src/world. Contract first spec for the world story engine. All front-end SDKs, mock, and CI contract tests are generated from this file. So you have the health path, and then you have the API world path. Ah. I don't know what I'm looking at. How to extend so stay sane. Like this? Got a 5070. You have a 5070 and you're facing problems with PyTorch. Did you enable CUDA? It's like the first thing you gotta make sure you got. It's gonna be really hard. It's too much for my brain right now. Nothing is compiled for the new CUDA. Oh, that's ass. Yeah, go ahead and do your change, King. Okay, so I'm gonna take this prompt that I wrote earlier, having it do myself, GD learning, experience low, I suppose. You got to figure out how to utilize your CUDA. Are you saying like when nothing's compiled, like they're just not updated for the 570? Because I just got a 570. So what if I need the front end right now? But I want to see my modules. So let me select everything. Let me unselect this. Let me unselect public. Let me unselect my front end. Oh wow, it's crazy how glasses make it so I could see clear. It's truly a mystical thing. Wait, I'll be back in 1 sec. I'm back. Don't leave. I'm cooking. Ugh. Ew, apple. I want an apple right now, sir. It's disrespectful. I love apples so much, actually. Okay, how do we ensure? So actually, wait. So I need my AI core to be the AI core that is imported in modules. However, right now, our AI, so the problem is that our AI core also writes like the prompts and the arcs and all of that for the service, which could be tough. So I'm trying to write out, I need my AI core to be the AI core that's imported in modules. However, right now our AI core is also contains all the different schemas, prompts for only the world module. We're gonna have a lot more prompts in the future and modules. What do you think? And I wrote, what do you think about having modules also having their own AI folder for prompts and schemas, and the core/AI folder is just for importing OpenWriter in one model? I also want to be able to, okay, so yeah, let's copy this schema, go to new chat, paste that in, because that chat's cooked. Oh. So if I npm run dev, oh, our front still works, boys. We're back in business. We're back in business. We're back in business. Our login still works. That's okay. Let's kind of want to redo the front end anyways. Do I need to? Maybe not. Maybe not. Leave it alone for now. So we get this issue where we could get worlds. It does show our worlds, but our front end does need to be. I am thinking retro vibe, but that's for later. That's for later. I don't want to focus. I don't want to get nerd sniped by the front end. I just want a super simple front end. Okay, so there's a couple things we gotta write down. So there needs to be a way for our front end to reference the types. Like the types should be shared so it's easier to work with. I don't want to like write types in the front end and write types in the back end. So I'm gonna add, where's my to do? I had a to do. Oh no, that was the world hierarchy. Let's write our to do. To do.md. 1, ensure that types can be shared between modules and the front end. Well, it's because I have like ensure that types can be shared between modules and the front end. I feel like maybe our modules shouldn't have front end stuff. Should our modules? I'm gonna add Q. So this is a big thing I do is I like writing down in markdown files, especially a to-do, because as I write these down, I'm literally prompting at the same time. I am prompting as I track my to-do. I'm prompting as I write questions for myself, and then I just give it to AI to reference, and it becomes really easy. Q, do we have modules? Ensure that types can be shared between modules in the front end. We should not be creating types for the front end. First off, do our modules even have a... I'm working on a script to catch UFOs with AI. That's actually so cool. Okay, tell me, elaborate on that. Please do that while it gets the auto update. Auto update is clutch. Ensure that types can be shared between modules in the front end. We should not be recreating types for the front end. Wait. Modules? Do we even write types? You don't write types. Do we even have types for modules and APIs? Another question. Do we worry about creating front-end components in modules? No. It absolutely does not make sense to make front end and modules because like this is a SDK. Like it's up to devs to make the front end and load it. But maybe that's why, that's what this contract thing is for. You even worry about creating front end? How would you go about this? Alright, I'm queuing up ultra deep thinking mode. Okay, I see why contracts are useful now. I see. So I answered this question already. Do we even have types for modules and APIs? 2 was... You have unhandled errors here, but that's fine. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to... Is there anything I need to push? Get add dot, get commit m, insert front end has its own super base live wrapper. Get push upstream. Let's grab this and then pull that into main so we can just start building in main. Merge. Okay, now that we have like the nicer refactor, we could go back to main and I could close this out. I could close this out. So now that I have a to-do item here, I'm just going to open repo prompt. OpenCV works great with PO and USB cameras. I use OpenCV hard dataset to confirm positives with OLLAMA. What is OpenCV? This is... Oh, the computer vision library. Oh, bro, this is sick. And then what do you track, though? Are you tracking, like, live data of just public USBs or cameras? Bro, it had to catch UFO sightings if you just tap into all of the different feeds and have it pipe into an AI system. It's actually fucking crazy. That's so cool. Oh, it's for your own camera. Oh. Anything that flies over gets recorded. Ooh. What's your region? Wait, have you seen a UFO with your own eyes? Is that why you're making this? I believe in them, so. Shit, what was I doing? Oh, my to-do. Oh no, I didn't add my to-do. Get checkout. Get branch V. Get checkout. Yeah, that get commit in. Everything's up to date. Why aren't you going to main? Oh, it's because I didn't get pull. Get checkout main. Get pull. There you go. Do you even have drives for modules and API? Do we keep them in shared? How should we approach this? Recorded a couple military drones. We need to refactor our AI core so that AI prompts, schemas, function calls are all module specific. This is because editing prompts in a module is important. Question, how can we ensure that it's easy for every module to reference each other? It is important. Best approach for our SDK system. So we'll start with the first question, which is this. Take our entire code base. Put this in ChatGPT. You have brainwave stuff? What? That's insane. I don't know, bro's making the next Neuralink. Choose a single source of truth, open API contract, auto-generate an SDK plus mocks from it, and guarantee via CI that the code docs and live service never drift. I don't really know what is. I need to look into contracts more. Okay, in terms of the plan, refine world hierarchy and flow. Worlds is the universe container which contains locations for spatial contexts. Locations provides the stage for the world story, which is the narrative arc. The narrative arc progresses through beats, which are influenced by world events, change catalysts, which are generated by factions, political, characters, personal, players, agency. I like that. I like that a lot. Based on your hierarchy, here's how the location module would work. I want you to create me a documentation overview. I want you to create me a high-level design plan for implementing these features into the game. We should start fairly simple at first without getting too complex, but make it so we can get more complex. Like, for example, I think that resources and regions is a little extra, but I think it's important to have regions and important places and events. Ultimately, there's going to be an AI agent that interacts with all of this and acts as the game master, which communicates with the story engine SDK. Players interact and play the game. That's the front end. Their actions are recorded in the game's back end, and an AI agent is what has access to the game's data to interact with the story engine. The game back end interacts with the story engine directly as well to pull in data, to tell the game and NPCs and characters and items, etc., how to act. Separate core AI plumbing from domain AI logic. What's up, Sorry? Welcome back. I came up with bangers. Insane bangers. Single source every domain type with Zod inside each module. With TRPC. End-to-end type-safe APIs made easy. Ooh. 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 I like that. Nah, I'm cool with TRPC. Do you even have types? You have Zod schemas for world domain. Turn every schemas into the canonical source. Do we keep them in shared? Keep infrastructure types in core/types. Keep domain types in their own module. How should we approach this? Single Zod file per module. Path files. One TS config that both server and client compile against. Auto-generated SDK with TRPC. Is modules like this the best approach for APIs to go? Module boundaries fine, just expose each router's contract at build time so the SDK reflects automatically. If type can be imported by both the router and the React with a single statement. That's clean. All right. Come in, Cloud Code. Cloud Code. Cloud Code. Direct this for me. What if I use, so, TRPC. Can I just use TRPC? Yeah, okay, so this is gonna do the TRPC thing for me. It's cool, I never heard of a TRPC thing. Is this the core AI refactoring guide? Yes. Separate core AI plumbing from domain AI logic, universal concerns, open router, open pipe, model registry and default fallbacks, shared metadata helper and TS types, low-level chat wrapper that every module calls, domain-specific material, prompts, JSON schema, Zod validation, thin service that calls core and passes metadata. So the core AI wrapper is going to have the chat parameters, it's going to have the client, and for the metadata, that's what we have. Metadata is fields required on every call. So module it comes from, the prompt ID, like generate world arc anchors, optional correlation fields for debugging, registry, so we could choose the different models in the config, pattern for module AI service, example for world AI service, const module equal world, const model equals Claude Sonnet 4, so we could do, and then modules world AI has the prompts, has the schemas, has the service, as well as the actual back end that we work with. So that's nice. Isn't TRPC meant for like chat sites? I don't know, let's ask. Is TRPC meant only for chat sites? Or can I use it for my SDK, for my API SDK? It's because I'm developing in TypeScript. Oh, let's see. TRC is absolutely not limited for chat applications. It is a general purpose type-safe RPC framework that can serve as the backbone for an SDK that wraps any HTTP accessible business logic. Why not use a REST API for something like my code? Let me give an example. For something like this code. Can TRPC be better or easier? What's up, Wanda? What's up, Sar? Welcome back. Let's see what 03 says. Okay, this looks good. I guess I want this question answered. TRPC would massively improve the developer experience of your own TypeScript-based front end and any other TS tooling you spin up, but it should be an internal facade on top of your existing service layer, not a full replacement for the public HTTP contract. Keep the current Express REST API, or generate an open API spec from it for anything that must be language agnostic, e.g. Unity game clients, Python tooling, partner integrations. So it's an internal facade. End-to-end types with no code gen, your domain models already live in Zod schemas, expose them once in the TRPC router, and they flow straight into the editor of every TS consumer, front end, CLI tools, worker scripts, Z infer. Why you still need REST or Open API in parallel? Given that Story Engine is meant to be embedded in games and may power modding communities or partner tools, you almost certainly need stable language agnostic. Okay, so general answer is TRPC is used for dramatically improving the developer experience on my end because I use TypeScript. That also means when I code with AI and I prompt with AI and it could read the IDE, it sees everything easier, which is important for AI context. But for actual app stuff, we are using the REST API. So TRPC is used for making the developer experience easier. It's REST API. TRPC is used for making the developer experience easier, but we still need a REST API for actually hosting that SDK. We still need a REST API for actually. Does this ensure? Well, now I know about TRPC. Cool. Because chat requires metadata, AI metadata, a module cannot compile unless it applies to normal keys. If you want runtime safety too, slap Zod refinement inside the chat. Okay, we're gonna do this. You're gonna take my code and improve it. Keep the current express REST routers, but pipe them in TRPC procedures. Short answer, no. Plain TRPC gives you a type JSON RPC layer, not a classic resource-oriented REST route. If you still want a public REST service, you have two clean options that reuse the exact same Zod schemas and avoid any duplication. Keep the current express REST routers, but pipe them into TRPC procedures. Auto-generate REST plus open API from the TRPC router. Oh. We could do that. Subset of RPC patterns that map cleanly to REST, no file upload, streaming, etc. If you'd rather keep 100% manual control of the REST surface, choose option 1. The types still flow through untouched because wrappers call TRPC projects directly. What's better, option 1 or option 2? Cons, you still have to handwrite those wrappers. I ain't writing shit. This is option 1. Make me directions for option 1. I use AI to code anyways. So as long as we write documentation, as long as you write important instructions on how to do this method when creating modules and API routes, it's fine. Thank you, Mr. Shakti. Oh, my Skyrim music. Wait. Oh, this might be a banger. Expose 2 developer experiences from one source of truth. What is this tool you keep using to bring up your stored code of prompts? This is repo prompt. I will put this link in the chat real quick. But this is for taking my entire code base and then giving that context to ChatGPT, O3, any other AI. It's my favorite tool. Alright, we're gonna launch 2 coder agents at the same time right now. So you are gonna be working on the AI refactor. You are gonna be working on the TRPC developer experience upgrade while still keeping the REST APIs. And then after, both of you are gonna write documentation to make it like the old music better. Oh, banger. So we have module schema design. So yeah, you're working on this. You're working on this. After that, then, yo, this is so cool. I've been living under a rock. Don't worry. I make a lot of content educating people. So if you subscribe to my YouTube, I highly recommend you watch this video. Do you use Cursor? If you use Cursor, I would watch this video, how to make AI write perfect code rules. If you have not used Claude Code before, you need to watch this video, because Claude Code is what I use on a daily basis. This is a video of me talking about making an AI agent that markets itself. Oh, the channel's doing pretty. Oh, we're almost at 1K subs! Yo! That's lit. That's lit. That's lit. That's lit. That's lit. That's so lit. T RPC automatic type safety. Cool. So that makes the front end easier to work with, it looks like. Yes, go ahead. Do whatever you want. And then you're working on the AI module, you're working on the Zod module. You guys are both working at the same time. You have been designing the plan for us this whole time, Mr. Claude. Story engine documentation overview. The story engine is a narrative generation system that creates dynamic living stories for game worlds. It tracks world states, characters' interactions, faction politics, and geographical changes to generate coherent, responsive narratives that adapt to player actions in real time. System architecture, core concept. You have the game backend, which talks with the story engine API, which interacts with the AI services. And you have the AI game agent, working with both the game backend and the story engine API. The story engine serves as a narrative brain, while game handles mechanics, visuals, and player input. High-level design plan. Foundation. Goal, basic world story progression with location context. Core world system. Already implemented. We have world creation and management. I'm obsessed with your cursor layout. How did you get that right sidebar with terminal tab under chat? Alright. Look closely. I'm going to open up random project. Alright, this is like the default cursor layout. Looks like this. What you do is you open the chat. So first thing I like doing is opening multiple chats. So I have 3 chats on the side. And then you'll click the 3 dots and you'll click open as editor. Something here messed up. Hold on. Open as editor. Alright. I guess this is the one that's open as editor. Anyway, so I open. Is it locked? Why does it make a new chat? Anyways, once you open the side chat as an editor, you could press plus on the terminal to grab like the terminal SSH, and then you could drag it under here, and then boom. Now you have the terminal under the chat. And then you could lock this if it looks good to you. There you go. Okay. Yeah, so now I could lock this. Now I have my 3 chats, and I have my terminal on the bottom. You can open infinite terminals. Bro, I have not knowledge about where can I start? My YouTube channel. Cursor doesn't even make that much sense now that you have Cloud Code IDE integration. Cursor is still like, to me, Cursor is a front-end UI that allows me to easily interact with the code. But I don't know how to use Vim yet. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn. Anyways, back to the high-level design plan. So we have phase 1 foundation, basic world story. So, okay, so we already have world creation management. We already have the story arc generation. We already have beat progression based on events and basic event recording. Now, simple location system. Location. We have ID. The world ID is tied to the name of the location. The type, is it a region? Is it a city? Is it a landmark? Is it a description? Is it important? See, here's the thing. Locations need to be stacked so that you have... There needs to be like a hierarchy for locations, but this is simple. So, implementation steps. Make 10 plus unfinished projects. Yo. I agree with that. Living world. Characters and basic faction dynamics. You have the character. Okay, so they have name, role, location ID, personality, memories. Simple factions. ID, world ID, name, type, ideology, one sentence description, power on the power scale, controlled locations. Ooh, wait. I am on a Mac. Wait. I see the vision for this. And then we have the clean SDK. You could record an event and what happens in game, get the current narrative state. I don't know about generating NPC dialogue. Okay. So next thing we would do is make location. Yeah, because we have to program all of this from a. You have access to context 7, right? Okay, it does. So one of my favorite things is when I'm using Claude Code is the context 7 NPC or MCP, because it lets Claude, like you can see right here, he's like searching up how to use TRPC methods, and then he searches up the docs. Is Grok more popular than ChatGPT? I don't think so. I think it's just we're on X. And context 7 allows the AI systems to get the most up-to-date docs on whatever. So it searches up TRPC, it gets the TRPC docs, it loads in whatever it needs to find, and then it codes it accurately. So it's really nice and really quick. Now, when it comes to... Can I just take this whole chat? Can I just take this whole chat? Yeah, I'm gonna take this whole chat. I'm gonna put in previous chats. Paste all of that in. I don't want to be like, look over this plan and concept. How would you design the database to ensure we build something we can work on top of and add further complexity later when needed? I want to ensure there's a clear separation between what the story engine narrative system controls and what the game handles. See what O3 thinks about this. Yo, Boo, if you only had to invest in only one of the fangs, which one would you choose long term? Wait, that's probably not it. What are the top fangs? I know what it is. I just got. Oh, it is Netflix. Really? I thought it was like a. The modern fang is called the Mama. Meta, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google. I think it's ma'am. Give me ma'am. Like M-A-A-M, ma'am. I don't know why. Mama. Let's see. If I had to pick one, eeny, meeny, miny, Google. Database topology. Both schemas live under the same cluster. What do you mean Google's getting hit with antitrust? Just because Google is the master of ad manipulation and psychology manipulation and getting people to buy shit. On God, which one of them isn't getting hit with antitrust? They all have their own fuck ups. But Google made the Transformers, so I bet everything on Google. Google is the reason I'm even having the stream right now. No errors? One error. Hold on. No error. We do have to clean this up because there's like multiple schemas in here and that's not pretty. Okay, so he's going through. Okay, but we do have, so now I don't think we're using this. We do use this. I'm gonna make a types folder in here for the client, but the client does take metadata. The metadata is passed into the module, so then the module picks up and create logger world AI service, and you got the model. Oh, it's fixing it all up for me. How cute. Okay, so I'm gonna finish cleaning this up. We mostly focused on the greater design plan, but to kind of wrap up everything we worked on today, we made significant progress. Let me see if I could run this hoe real quick. It still runs. That one we have to fix, but that's okay. So we got a story engine. It worked through. We refactored everything so it actually makes sense in terms of backend code. So you have the core, which handles the server calls, and then the AI import. We updated the AI import so it could actually take the metadata. We're going to update that. It actually take metadata from the clients. This is really important because we're about to get into making a lot more modules in interacting with the stories and making sure all of these pieces interconnect with each other. So it's very important that we track the metadata of where all of these calls come from in OpenPipe, which you can see here. We already do. We just make it nicer. But this prompt ID comes from dynamic world beat, from the world boot quest and beat index 3, so we can see where everything comes from, and it's really easy to debug. We refactor the entire code base so that we have the worlds. So we have different modules easily accessible with AI prompts built into them. So you don't have to worry about editing the prompts of other modules if we're not working on them. And then we have future plans for other modules we're gonna make to finish off the system. So the main modules we're gonna work on is now this world hierarchy. So this is how the system is gonna look, and then I will consider the system complete. And then we can work on the D&D game, where you have this hierarchical order of you create an account and then you could create a world. That world is a universe container which contains locations. We don't have locations yet. Locations are vital for the world story, so the world story isn't just making up random places. Right now it just makes up random places because there's nothing directing it. So if you create concrete locations that game developers could add to in terms of the story and build it out, that will be really vital for generating the story. Now, going down, also locations can be destroyed, altered, edited by the world story, depending on what's happening. So world's locations, and then we have the world story. The world story is the narrative arc. That is the current world story of the game everyone's playing. The world story is what game systems will take, what the game front ends and the game servers will take. In my case, for D&D, that is what I will take, and that's based on the world story, is how different AI conversations will go, is how different quests get made, is how different monsters will spawn, and monsters and unique items, unique world events, etc. all come from the current world story. Now, world story is broken up into 15 parts where you have beats. Each beat is what allows us to have a current narrative in that moment that ultimately progress through the current world story, but allow players to dynamically interact with the world story beat by beat. Now, beats are influenced by world events. These are change catalysts. These are events generated by factions, characters, players, all through playing the game itself. In our case of Boo D&D, it would be by playing D&D. So we are going to work on next time on building locations. Once we have locations, then we could create factions. I think factions are important for the political goings of the world. I think adding factions will also make the stories much more rich and immersive. And then we'll have characters like the NPCs and then players who can contribute to the game. Now, anytime, players could also be a part of factions. Players could befriend or kill characters or any of this. Like, it's the whole point is to be a constant dynamic world. So the way I see this working is we create locations next on Friday, 10 a.m. PST, come back on stream. And then once we create locations and integrate them with the world story, then we're going to create factions. And then we're going to create characters. Can you reduce or increase the number of beats? I don't see why not. I just stick to 15 because that's the Save the Cat framework. But yeah, I totally could. Next, we're going to work on factions, characters, and then players. And as things happen in the game, like a faction blows up, like everything influences each other. And also, like, the world events and the stories also affect the factions, the characters, and the players. So everything is just the goal is to make an emergent, breathing AI universe. Now, the challenge, which I don't think is going to be that big of a challenge, but the way that we make this work, the key puzzle piece in making this work with an actual game is by creating an AI agent that acts as the game master. The AI agent takes the information from the game itself, processes that, and adds world events to it, changes the characters, changes the locations, the world story, the description, and communicates with the story engine. So the middleman between the game and the story engine is going to be an AI agent we're going to call the game master. So once we create the base for this, then we create the AI agent, and then we attempt to make a fun game where we have simple combat and we could voice chat with the NPCs. I think it'd be fun if there was a game master that like talked us through. Yeah, that is what we worked on today. Everything is prepped and nice for future modules. So we're going to do that next stream. But thank you guys so much for coming on. I'm going to end stream here. I will see you guys later.